Good evening everyone, and welcome to Nessa's Spooky Reviews. So I wasn't going to do another one of these, just bear in mind before we start that the window is open, there will be some traffic noise, and also I have the fan on the lowest setting. I've just watched a film on YouTube, free on YouTube, and it was called The Night They Knocked. Now this to me is a knockoff of The Strangers to me. This was done in 2019. It has a full DVD release. Also this is available to watch on Plex, which I didn't know at the time. And it might not be in your region though, because Plex does go by region. So what's available in the UK, it's the same as Tubi. You know, not necessarily is it available everywhere else in the world, which is what other reviewers don't tell you. So I've just watched the film The Night They Knocked, and basically what it is about is this group of 4 friends was going into a log cabin in the wilderness, and they was just going there just for a weekend away, a few days away sort of thing, just to have some fun and to chill out a bit and everything like that. So they was in this like secluded place, really quiet, really like nothing around or anything like that, just trees and all of that, and they was having a nice time and just enjoying each other's company and having a few drinks and everything and chatting and all of that, you know, the regular thing. This goes on for quite some time, and there's an eeriness to it. You sort of get the outside shot. I like the aesthetic of this film. Some of the acting's a little bit sketchy. Could be better acted. Anyway, so they're having all a really nice, pleasant time, and then they start hearing noises. Because what I haven't said is at the beginning of the film, there was a woman cleaning her kitchen. She just come in to clean her kitchen sink, and she's just pottering about, and she hears a noise. She goes to investigate the noise, but nothing seems amiss, so she comes back in to carry on what she was doing, and then the TV just goes on randomly, and she goes into the living room, and you can't see anything, it's not showing, but you just suddenly hear her scream, and a lot of knocking noises and just horrible things happening. You could just tell someone's hitting her or something or whatever. So anyway, that was the start of the film. That should be at the beginning of this review, but you know what I'm like. So, each group of friends, you know, as I say, they're having a nice time. They start hearing a few noises outside, but it doesn't faze them that much. And then, all of a sudden, they hear this really loud bang. And the girl goes outside, and one of their friends is bleeding heavily, and he's on the floor. He's clearly dead. And that's when you see this guy come in, and he's got this clown face on. I'm not being funny, but I don't like clowns, and this face was like, okay, is that all you've got? Could have been better makeup. It was a bit rubbish, to be honest. So he's got this clown makeup on, and he's just wearing a random red and white t-shirt. He's a larger sized person, and he's just trying to get into the property because they locked the door quickly, and he's just really going at it outside. You can tell he's not a very nice person at all, and there is somebody else as well which is at the window, and he leaves a bloody pair of hands, so obviously he's showing the fact that he killed their friend. So they've started to terrorise them. So You see, The Strangers is like people getting to the property. So this is kind of the feel I'm getting. It's kind of like the feel of The Strangers, but The Strangers is far better. There's 2 films of that. During this film, because they've got into the property now, what irritated me was, one thing was, this group of friends just went, we're going to call the police, and then they never did anything. If you're going to call the police, just call the police, you know. No, they just stood there and didn't do a damn thing. Their friend has been tied to this chair, and she gets killed off pretty quickly in the most awful way. And the guy what's with this one with the clown face on is in a dress. I don't know what the dress thing's all about, but it's in a dress. I mean, no problem there, you do you, boo. But he's in a dress and he's got this white face, but you don't really see him much. He kind of hides behind the main villain, really, which is a little off-putting. You'd think he'd be a bit more forward. The film progresses where everybody's getting terrorised, and then they finally get this guy that's got clown face on, and they hit him hard from the back, and he falls. So they're basically, after this, all they're doing is trying to keep the property safe, get each other together, but they're getting killed off because there's still that other guy there. They're getting killed off, and you know, it's alright, it's okay, but the aspects I find is it could have been so much better. It wasn't the worst B movie I've ever seen. I will say it's a B movie and not anything more. It could have been better. It definitely could have been better acted. It definitely could have been better makeup, really. But yeah, there are certain aspects that irritate me about this film. One, the glass door. Yes, it's glass. It's basically a wooden door with wooden slats, if you know what I mean, but then each square is glass. They lock that door to stop him getting in, but all he has to do is break the glass and he'll get in. He didn't do that though, and that irritated me because that would be the first thing you'd do. So that was one irritating aspect for me. Another irritating aspect is what I've just talked about, is the fact that he said he's going to call the police and then he doesn't call the police. I mean, come on, at least look like you're trying. It does feel a little uncomfortable. They could have done better. I think they could have just gone on the Rainless thing. I really feel this film could have been better in a lot of ways, because when they first had this guy in the clown face turn up, and then this other guy as well in his white face, and they was both definitely meaning business to hurt these people. When the door finally opened, the girl was in front because she was outside on the patio where her friend had died, been killed. And then the others was, before they'd locked the door, they was right back. And I think what would have worked better, rather than having them 2 guys that was doing all the terrorising and etc like that, killing and just, you know, being heinous POSs, I think it would have been better that the camera would have panned into the group looking onto her, and suddenly they were the evil ones and they're the ones that are going to do it and hurt her. I don't want to see that. It would have been a better feel, if you know what I mean. the two guys already there because they're doing this thing. She thinks it's them, turns to the group of friends, and it turns out they're all in it. You know, all in it together. That would have been a lot better. Yeah. But, you know, I actually quite enjoyed the film. It wasn't bad at all. It could have been better, as I've said, but it could have been a lot blinking worse, you know. I've seen some terrible B movies in my time, and this wasn't one of them. It wasn't the best, but it wasn't terrible. I'm going to rate this one. I think you should go and see it, to be honest. If you're into horror, I think you should go and, you know, have a look at it. I'm going to link the movie in my description box, so please take a look, it will be there. I'm going to give this film a 7 out of 10, so a pretty solid rating. So I'm going to go. Please do all that lovely stuff, like, comment, subscribe and share. It really does make the algorithm look a bit more healthy. I will see you again very soon. Take care, everyone. Goodbye.